You, Megan.
We're also tracking new investigations tonight as the private information of Americans applying for health care is being compromised. At least 3 people in Oregon reporting that they received the names, social security numbers, and income information of complete strangers, and it was sent to them by their own state-run insurance exchange. Morgan Wright is a former State Department advisor, CEO of Crowdsourced Investigations, and he testified before Congress last week on what he calls the perfect storm of security problems with the Obamacare websites. Morgan, good to see you. So tell me,
Hi, Megan.
What is the story in Oregon? How did it wind up that people were getting other people's social security numbers and income?
This is if you want it bad, you get it bad, and people are going to have to live with bad. What it was a paper-based system because the exchanges weren't working right. You couldn't apply online. Nobody thought through the process of what do you do with paper. Follow it all the way. There's no audit, there's no accountability, and it's not surprising. In fact, the only surprising thing is we haven't had more stories of this because it will only get worse. This thing is not going to get better until they institute some very big fixes.
We have people who, good people who reported, hey, I received somebody else's Social Security information and their salary information. I'm clearly not supposed to have this. That's 3. How many actually got it and didn't report it and are doing something nefarious with it right now? There's no way of knowing.
Well, Megan, it's even worse than that. It's all of the people who have set up deceptive websites. I mean, there were the last one of the reports is there's about 720 sites, 500 on the state exchanges, 220 on the federal site that are being deceptive or fraudulent. And so we don't know how much personal information is being collected at this point because the government can't even measure it themselves. They haven't done an end-to-end security test. They don't know where their holes are, so you can't patch what you don't know exists.
Would you go on to healthcare.gov or these state exchanges? This is a state exchange. These are supposed to be working better. These are the ones people are supposed to believe in right now and enter your personal information on there, Morgan.
Absolutely not. And the reason these state exchanges don't work well is because they waited so long to define the policy. Policy needs to drive technology, not the other way around. They have overdriven their headlights on this. They waited too long to create the policy, and now everybody is scrambling trying to get it done. And again, if you want it bad, you get it bad. People are having to live with bad because they waited so long to define the policies that are the very essence of what this website is supposed to be.
I'll tell you what, if I were one of the people who lost my policy, contrary to the president's explicit promise, and was forced to go on one of these websites to get insurance, and someone did this to me, I would try to go after the people who made me the promise. I would try some way to go after those who basically forced me into a situation where I get defrauded, because that's what's happening to them. Morgan, more with you on this at another time. Thank you so much for being
Megan.
here.
You bet.
Well, the other big story tonight, a massive winter storm is sweeping the country. Up to 10 deaths already blamed on this system. Delays are expected at some of the country's biggest airports, and Janice Dean has stayed here late tonight with some important new warnings from the